Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs and R.A. Dudrek, the Window King, present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to Sean and Maria in Utica, enjoying the show with a cup of tea.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. What about this weather? This is what makes living in the Mohawk Valley so perfect. Today we will be traveling all throughout the Mohawk Valley, so stay tuned.
This Saturday, October 26th from 9 to 4, is the second annual Fall Harvest Festival and Craft Fair at the Richfield Springs Central School. There will be craft vendors, a Chinese auction, and kids' corner with proceeds to benefit the Student SAD program at the Richfield Springs Central School on Main Street. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, R.A. Dudrek, for making the show possible. Pick up the premier issue of Mohawk Valley Living magazine, available now for free at many of our sponsors and your closest Stewart shop.
Well, it's October and there's a whole lot of squeezing going on at North Star. Obviously, we're squeezing apples. Some of the best cider comes in October when we have the most varieties to really blend in with our cider. It's been an outstanding year. We have good size, plentiful apples. So the cider is going to be really sweet this year. It looks like we're going to have plenty to go around. Now I'm holding some grapes at our newest venture is the vineyard, and we're doing squeezing right now. And if you've never had good fresh grape juice, there's no other flavor like it. What I'm holding are the Concords, and they're good for the grape jelly, the grape juice, and some people actually make a pie out of them. Now some of the favorites are the green grapes, or the Niagaras. They have a really strong flavor to them, and we all know about Lake Niagara wine. And this year we're actually blending the two and trying to come up with a good fresh grape juice. Unfortunately, we can't squeeze pumpkins for juice, but you can certainly cook with pumpkins, and there's so many ways you can enjoy a pumpkin. To start with, not all pumpkins are equal. You have the jack-o'-lanterns, and they're the big ones, but if you look for the dark coloring, which is a cinnamon coloring, that's a true sugar pumpkin, which has sweeter taste and texture. We've found that there are people that cut them out and actually cook soup in them. They'll bake it right in the shell of the pumpkin. Obviously, we all know about pumpkin pie or pumpkin cookies.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. You'll be all set for the roads ahead with this all-wheel drive Ford Fusion. Only 23,000 miles and only $18,995. Mohawk Valley Living fans save an extra $1,000, now only $17,995 at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs.
Everyone knows the Window King for windows because he's been selling good windows cheap for years. But R.A. Dudrek is much more than windows. He's windows and doors, kitchens and floors. So, whether you're looking for energy-efficient windows to save money this winter, or a new kitchen to brighten up those long winter months, the Window King has it all. Visit their showroom in beautiful Holland Patent and see for yourself why R.A. Dudrek is the Window King.
The CNY Gaming and Entertainment Expo, coming to the Herkimer County Fairgrounds October 18th, 19th, and 20th, featuring over 30 bands, video game tournaments, and pro wrestlers like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and much more. Visit smashcow.com for updates.
Kick off your holiday shopping at the 37th Herkimer County Arts and Crafts Fair, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. This juried show is one of the area's largest, with folk art, glassware, wood furniture, specialty foods, and more, on the HCCC campus, November 9th and 10th.
The people you know, the rock you love, and more songs per hour. 92.7 FM The Drive, Central New York's locally owned independent rock station.
Melrose Supermarket is your family hometown market, known for their choice hand-cut meats, homemade breads, and fresh pastas and salads. Check out the weekly specials at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
This week, we travel 20 miles north of Utica on Route 12 to Remsen. A familiar red dragon reminds us we're in Welsh country and of the upcoming Barn Festival. We hop over to Old Route 12 and are welcomed by a pretty painted sign and the Cincinnati Creek spilling over the dam. A footbridge takes you over the creek that once powered a series of mills. The creek was important to early Welsh settlers who traveled north of Utica in search of their own land to build their homes. Encouraging letters sent home to family and friends in Wales attracted even more Welsh immigrants to the area. The early history of the area's Welsh settlers is preserved at the Remsen Steuben Historical Society, which houses one of the largest Welsh libraries in America.
Well, Baron Steuben was given 16,000 acres at the close of the Revolutionary War. So he wanted to get settlers, and he sent agents to encourage Welsh settlers to come to the area. Well, you know, Remsen was really quite a bustling community after a while, and the people that would receive these letters thought that this was probably a great big metropolis, and when they arrived in New York City, the myth goes, I guess, that they said, well, if this is New York City, what can Remsen be? So Remsen was quite a bit smaller.
The historic stone church, or Capel Carrig, is one of 4 Welsh chapels left in the area.
So the building was built in 1831 as a Welsh Calvinistic Methodist church. And in 1989, the Remsen Steuben Historical Society purchased the building, and it became the home of the Remsen Steuben Historical Society. So we house our collection here, and we have functions here, such as we do rent it for weddings, and of course St. David's Day, we do have a service here occasionally. And during Barn Festival, we have a Gaman Vagani, which is a Welsh hymn sing, and that's on Sunday afternoon of the Barn Festival.
The Methodists had a method for getting people here on time for church, because the doors where you came through were right here, and as you walked in was the pulpit. So when you came in, the congregation was out here, and everybody saw you walking in late if you were late. So the Welsh tended to always be very much on time.
Moving along these dusty rural back roads triggers a flood of memories, and the trees all whisper hello. My old friend, it's good to have you home. Oh, why did you go?
In the 1800s, Remsen was connected to the rest of the world by the railroad. In 1997, the Remsen community overwhelmingly supported rebuilding the old train depot. It's the first step in a long-range development project to recreate a 20th century Welsh village.
We've added a great number of projects and activities here at the station. We have been to Wales. There were 5 of us that went to Wales just about 3 years ago. And we met with the Welsh government on a number of occasions, and about 150 Welsh crafters, with the thought of seeing if they would be interested in coming over and joining us in this Welsh village that we have talked about building here at the site. Overwhelming support from both the government and the crafters. We think the first step towards that will be a genealogy center here in conjunction with the Historical Society. At the Stone Meeting House, we'll be building a climate-controlled genealogy center. We also have restored an old antique 1915 New York Central caboose, and we have that outside for children to explore.
Peaches in the summertime and apples in the fall. If I can have the one I love, I'll have no one at all. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away.
On Route 12 in Remsen is Tam's Diner, where Adirondack tourists and locals come together for good old-fashioned diner food. We meet the owner's mother, Angela, the A in Tam's. Both her daughters, Tammy and Marlene, have been in the restaurant business for decades.
We are at Tam's Diner, where you can have breakfast any time of the day, 7 days a week. Come here on a Wednesday and they have my favorite, which is turkey. And the turkey is real turkey. That's always a stupid thing to say. Real turkey is what? Fake turkey? The turkey is cooked right here on premises. Whatever you have, be sure that you have bread with it because it's home-baked bread from Remsen. And come here on a Thursday and it's all the spaghetti you can eat for only $3.99.
I came rolling down the hill, down into the Mohawk Valley. Train pulled into Union Station. One passenger was I who chose to stay. I heard drums along the river, and banjos ringing in the heights.
We enjoyed the homemade bread at Tam's Diner. Then we came to the Remsen Country Bakery because it's baked right here, along with an incredible array of baked goods, including these homemade donuts. Trust me, if you're a donut fan, buy a dozen, 3, 4, 20 dozen because they're fantastic. Thank you. This is my second one in the past 5 minutes.
There was music in the valley. There was music in the air. There was music all around.
We cross over Route 12 to Llewellyn Road and discover there's not just Welsh in these hills. We visit the German-named Franconia Farm. Carl Stahl hails from Germany and his wife Kathleen from Ireland. Recently, one of their riding students returned to the farm after graduating with an animal science degree from SUNY Cobleskill. She plans to help Carl teach horsemanship.
Well, for me, since I couldn't remember, everything was horses for me. I just wanted to ride horses. I wanted to wear horse attire. I wanted to read all about horses, watch the movies. I can't remember a time when horses just weren't in my life. My parents aren't horse people, but I just begged and begged and begged to ride. And when I was 5, they finally allowed me to. And from then, I just have not stopped, and it's my passion. And that's why I want to make it my career, because I wake up every morning wanting to ride. That's the only thing I want to do. So if I can make that into my career, I would be so happy. Well, it's something great for people to get into because it teaches them such discipline and responsibility, and that's what some kids are lacking these days is, they have the video games and their cars and all of this, and they like to go to the movies, but to be able to ride a horse, you need to have a friendship and, more importantly, a partnership, and you can't just tell them what to do. You have to ask them, and they have to offer it. So it's all about learning to communicate properly and to know that, if you're not going to go out and ride your horse that day, he's not going to get ridden, and that's your fault, no one else's. So I think it's just great. It's great for, they are your best friend. So it's something that I look forward to every day, and I think students, young children would absolutely love it.
Franconia Farm Tack and Gift Shop sells English and Western apparel, saddles, helmets, boots, and gloves. They also offer arena rental and boarding. You can take dressage classes with Carl or hunter equestrian with Aaron. Visit MohawkValleyLiving.com for information. Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. You'll be all set for the roads ahead with this all-wheel drive Ford Fusion. Only 23,000 miles and only $18,995. Mohawk Valley Living fans save an extra $1,000, now only $17,995 at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. Be sure to attend the 32nd Annual Adirondacks National Exhibition of American Watercolors. Ranked one of the best watercolor exhibitions in the country, the exhibit features works by many of the greatest living painters in North America. On display now at View in Old Forge. Visit Brenda's Natural Foods in their brand new, bigger location, right down the street at 236 West Dominic Street in Rome. Brenda's Natural Foods, something good and a lot of it.
Hi, welcome to the Little Falls Antique Center in the shops at 25 West. We have 2 full floors with 50 vendors of interesting and unique products ranging from specialized to very eclectic, primitive to the not so primitive. Remember, shop local, we're worth the trip.
Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Why do contractors and do-it-yourselfers shop Lincoln Davies? It's the superior grade lumber, the value for the money, the 140 years and 6 generations of customer service. Since 1872, Lincoln Davies has delivered superior lumber, value, and service, and they're not about to change things now. Celebrating 140 years at the same location, just 10 minutes south of New Hartford on Summit Road between routes 12 and 8. Lincoln Davies, building them like they used to. Store co-owners Linda and Joe McHarris invite you to shop the talented local artists at the Artisans Corner. You'll discover one-of-a-kind handcrafted pottery, clothing, candles, jewelry, and original artwork, handmade from the heart of Central New York at the Artisans Corner in Clinton. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. We are given a private tour of the historic Hutchinson House by owner Hazel Black. It was built in 1809 by Welsh carpenter Ellis Pritchard. The exterior and much of the interior remains as it was 200 years ago, with original ceilings and horizontal wainscoting.
This was the original post office here in Remsen, and inside you can see the original woodwork and tin ceilings. The house is now owned by Mr. and Mrs. Black, so that when you drive by, notice that they have their airmail mailbox way up in the air, some 15 feet. And the mailbox at the bottom is for blackmail.
Laying back in the summer sun, sipping an ice cold glass of lemonade.
We head north on Lake Julia Road into the beautiful and fascinating countryside of Remsen. The fields are dotted with boulders that seem dropped from the sky. Here, deep in the forest, we find the historic Hall District No. 12 school.
At one time, there were 21 one-room schoolhouses in the Remsen School District. This one is the only one that has been preserved as a one-room schoolhouse. Fortunately, there were 2 school teachers from the New York City area who bought a camp up here in the area. They saw this and they wanted to preserve it for posterity. The teachers left the building to 2 Remsonians, Mr. and Mrs. Pugh, who fortunately for all of us are maintaining this fantastic structure. When I came in here today, there were all kinds of things that caught my eye, but one in particular, and it's this pen, because I believe I'm beginning to date myself when I realize that it was one of these, well, one like this one here that I used. I had a little trouble finding the inkwell. When I was in school, it was right there on the top of the desk. Here, though, it's hidden on the side.
We head back south along Lake Julia Road to the Lake Julia Preserve. The property is protected by the Nature Conservancy and is used by Utica College faculty and students for ecological teaching and research.
If you're looking to get away from it all, then take a ride just outside of Remsen to the Lake Julia Preserve. It's a conservancy, and you go back in there, and that is really stepping into nature.
The Lake Julia Preserve has a 2-mile-long loop trail that takes you through a hardwood forest, along streams, a spruce fir swamp, a sphagnum bog, and man-made lakes. It is open to the public year-round from dawn to dusk for hiking, birdwatching, nature study, and cross-country skiing.
Suddenly, there you are, your past looking back at you.
The Welsh Calvinistic Church has been here since 1848. When I came here, I noticed that there were the 2 doors in front. I was told that one door was for men, one for women. Naturally, I thought that was a segregationist thing, but that's not the case. Remember, the Welsh are very well known for their singing abilities. The men and the women sat in different parts of the church inside for harmony. purposes.
The area greatly resembles Wales, and in the late 1700s, Remsen had a preeminent role in Welsh immigration to the United States.
When we were here a few years ago, we saw this old blacksmith shop, and it was in pretty rough shape. Fortunately for us, a lover of local history, Kelly Weaver, purchased this building and has been renovating it. She is from this very community, so we were wondering what you call people from Remsen. We thought that perhaps it was a Remsenite, but I've been told by Ryan over here that the proper pronunciation is a Remsonian.
Well, I talk to you, but you don't listen. I reach out to you, but you don't care. Well, I don't know how to handle this situation.
Throughout the Mohawk Valley, there are small businesses that keep America moving. Here in Remsen, MPM Incorporated manufactures high-frequency electromagnetic wave packages and chassis assemblies for the military, aerospace, and medical fields.
I'm holding a motor housing that is manufactured right here at MPM. What's the significance of it? Inside of this housing will go a probe which treats cancer, and it is used worldwide, and it's made right here in Remsen.
MPM stands for Metal Parts Manufacturing. That name actually came from the old General Electric that used to be on French Road. That was the name of the machine shop at French Road, and where I used to work in the planning office, and my partner Paul used to work there too. Most of the work we do is prototyping for defense contractors. Some limited small production runs we do as well. We also do work for companies like Remington Arms and Tech Utica are also customers. A couple other customers are DRS, which is another defense contractor. Ascendant Engineering does design work for different companies, and in that process they also need prototypes made, which we do a lot for.
So how's the old saying go? All work and no play?
My partner Paul started that project. It's a half-scale radio-controlled car, and it's just getting started. We've had a lot of interest. It's kind of an expensive hobby for people, but we're working on trying to make it happen. We got some machines, and it's something we can control ourselves, and the marketing is a little bit tough to do and still be here running the machine shop, but it's a fun project, and hopefully it'll take off one day.
There may be only 5 employees here, but it's companies like this that are the backbone of America.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley.
We head north to Remsen to catch up with the bluegrass band Cincinnati Creek. They're rehearsing for the 2nd annual Indoor Bluegrass Festival this Saturday night at the Capitol Theater in Rome. You may remember banjo player Chris Pepe from the former Stump Hollow Band, but they picked up bass player Kathy Martin to join other former Stump Hollow Band members Gary Dygert and Lori Thompson to form Cincinnati Creek.
I've been writing music probably since I started playing guitar, which was when I was a teenager. I like to write about a lot of things. My songs usually have a message. It's about faith and music and family and love, and then I get into some of the historical aspects of the area, and I write songs about that. We play pretty much of a variety of acoustic. It's all acoustic music, but we play bluegrass, some country, a couple of rock songs, but they're in a bluegrass format, and a lot of original music that I've written. Cincinnati Creek is a lot of fun. We just have a blast. We get together and we practice every week, and then we go out and we sing for other people, and we hope that they enjoy our show.
Search for meaning in my life, and always try to make things right. With each challenge that I face, I'm humbled by your love and grace. The older I get, the less I know. The more I learn, the less I grow. Just when I think I've got it down, put my feet back on the ground.
Memories haunt me everywhere, but once more in despair, these memories burn and death stay. Count on you to light my way. The older I get, the less I know. The more I learn, the less I grow. Just when I think I've got it down.
In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the fourth generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Get your tickets for the Hamilton College Performing Arts Silver Season, presenting the celebrated Kronos Quartet on November 9th and Kulu Mele African Drum and Dance on November 16th. For tickets, call 859-4331. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit yannickexcavating.com. Do something about your chronic pain. InterX Therapy can be the answer to your post-surgical or sports injury rehabilitation or chronic neuropathic pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucherone at 853-6225 for non-invasive InterX Therapy. Celebrate the season at North Star Orchards with sweet cider, fresh baked pies, and cider donuts. Add some autumn color with decorative gourds, Indian corn, and corn stalks. Celebrate autumn at North Star Orchards in Westmoreland. The Village Crossing is full into fall. Your favorites have arrived, including comfortable cropped and tapestry jackets. Come in and they'll help you put it all together at the Village Crossing in Clinton. That special art, photograph, or memorabilia deserves a special frame. Oscars creates one-of-a-kind gold and silver leaf mirrors and frames. Oscars Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Have a tropical adventure and walk among hundreds of free-flying butterflies, tropical birds, plants, lizards, and frogs at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. It's an unforgettable experience for all ages. Open 7 days a week on Route 7 in Oneonta. Meelan's Market is your holiday meat headquarters, featuring boneless hams, smoked, trimmed, and cured by Bob Meelan himself, stuffed pork chops, low-salt, low-fat kielbasa, chicken cordon bleu, and remember to pre-order your Plainville turkey at Meelan's Market at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products at Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally.
Baby, can't you see no matter where you go, you never find another friend like me. Anytime you are alone and blue, please hurry home, won't you?
We hope that you enjoyed today's show and that you will partake of the fruits of the Mohawk Valley and that you will join us next week. Between now and then, enjoy Mohawk Valley living.